Hello beautifuls, my name is Quavia. I'm the creator of JuJu Thyme. I have another message from the Dark Divine Mother and their messengers. And wow, I'm just gonna jump right into it because yeah, the meditation for it and the messages that I was receiving for it, it came honestly very vague. But then after channeling and just writing everything that was moving through me, everything that I was seeing, it seems like towards the end of my channeling, it sort of like just made sense. So I took notes once again, just to keep myself organized and making sure that I don't miss out on any of the information that that spirit wanted me to tell you. Now, this is a collective message, so definitely be sure to lean into your intuition, tap into your spiritual court, so that way you can hear the message that they brought you here to listen for. Okay, so first and foremost, there's definitely was this feeling that moved through me that let me know that the position that you are in right now, it's something that's renewed. There's a sense of victory that is surrounding you, whether you realize that or not, because we're gonna get to that, but there's definitely this sense, if the inner work and outer work has not been done, there's a sense of, why am I going through this again? Okay, but there is a sense of victory in the position that you are now in. Overall, there has been this sense of expansion that has taken place, right? It's an expansion of your intentions that have been reset. And I also put down here, stronger sense of conviction. The spirits that are very much helping you find your balance between yourself and your higher self. It's also the balance between your mind and your heart. Like I said, there was this expansion. There was this expansion, and in this expansion, there's renewed convictions, renewed intentions, even a sense of things being clear. Whether that revelation that was made is something that makes you happy or sad at the moment, right? Whatever that revelation, there is a sense of clarity. There is a sense of reconnection. And I'm seeing your elevated ancestors. When I read the bones, your elevated ancestors definitely came through very strong as assisting you with this situation. They are definitely there assisting you with this reconnection and this newfound clarity and tension that you are now in. Now, this current position, the whole goal of it is really, if you are of course wanting it. I did say, I wrote down here, if you are going to take it. If you're going to take it, the goal of this position that you now find yourself in, right, is really now granting you a lot of earthly power. It's granting you a lot of earthly power, focus, awareness, and is honestly shifting you into better alignment with your purpose, your path, and who you are in the connection to your higher self. It's a much clearer connection. So I wanted to get a bit more of a background for those watching this video of, okay, what was going on. So I looked into the distant past, and the distant past was definitely a time of flux. Just a lot of ups and downs, it seemed like. You know, it was like when you thought you had a handle on things, it was like the rug would be pulled right from under you. And it was like everything you knew, you know, it had to be changed again and again and again. Whatever this is referring to, nothing was what it seemed, which then brings us more to like the recent past, because in this recent past it seemed as though you finally realized that the only way forward was to surrender. I wrote down here, surrender and allow yourself to be transformed. That's what you realized. These ups and downs, it was just a lot of transformations that were being made. But definitely, so within my channeling, it felt as though in a way you felt like you lost control. You lost control of your path. You lost control of, in a way, of yourself. There was definitely, for a few of you, a big ego death, for sure. There was like this release of, I'm done fighting. Just being completely and utterly done fighting. It's like you threw in the towel, and that was your surrender, right? That was your surrendering into this once again flux. And from your, like, from this specific distant past, right, to the more recent past, there definitely was this sense of you having died multiple times. Apologies there, had to renew the candle very quickly and reset the prayer. But okay, so as I was saying, from my channeling, there was a sense that between that distant past and this recent past, it was like there was this death multiple times within yourself. Massive transformation that happened. It reminds me of a quote that a friend recently just told me, of acknowledging the fact that in one lifetime, an individual dies multiple times. And it seems like from this distant past into this more recent past, it was a lot for you. Ultimately, you, as I said, you had to surrender a lot and surrender a lot of control. And as I said, it was like the earth beneath you was shifted over and over and over again. It seems like now Spirit has moved you into a place where now you are given the choice. You are now in a state of peace. As I mentioned, you are in a state of having victory and having and working towards the goal of this earthly power. But it seems like Spirit is now giving you the choice of, and I wrote down, if you will act on wisdom or learn another lesson. So there's definitely something, whatever it was, there was definitely something that was constantly learned, relearned, fortified, refortified over and over and over again. Hence all of the transformations that you went through. And now you're at the other side of it now. It doesn't feel like it. It definitely is a sense that it doesn't feel like it, but you are on the other side of that now. And now there's a choice. And the choice is either acting on the wisdom that you've gained or learning another lesson. You know, and Spirit is really allowing you to make this choice because they want to reintegrate this control that you felt that you had lost. Because you, and even though it doesn't feel this way, you didn't lose any control. You were aligning into a reality that was better suited for you to go after this earthly power, this earthly pleasure that you are wanting and seeking. And these shifts and these transformations are not easy. They are not easy. But Spirit is now giving you the opportunity to really feel a sense of control back and determine if you will follow the wisdom of rest despite all the strife that may be going on around you, or will you rush head in and learn a lesson. Based on this present condition, there is a sense that things have changed, right? If not externally, definitely internally, right? And it's almost as if there's a crossroad coming up, which is very interesting because, you know, we are in this space where the veil seems, or is, not even seems, is very thin, right? And it's like you're getting a little bit of a peek, and that is that clarity, a little bit of a peek of what's on that other side. If you were to act on that lesson, right, that need to rush, I wrote down, will arise if you haven't finished grieving the ups and downs you had experienced. What that grief was telling you about yourself, telling you about your surroundings, telling you about the spaces that you are walking into. Because the wisdom is lying there in between those bits of wisdom that you gained from this experience. But Spirit definitely wanted me to reassure you, whatever path that you end up walking, that feeling of rush is unnecessary, because what is yours will always be yours. This access to shift, this access to make these transformations that you are wanting and needing to make will always be there, ready for you to make them. Because I definitely got a vision of, like, if there is a lesson, I saw depression, hope lost, you know, like hope loss of like another chance, you know, as though like this feeling, as though this sense of beating yourself up of, why didn't I not learn this lesson before? Like, why do I make the same mistakes over and over again? It's really those like beating yourself up. So Spirit definitely wants you to know that this is not the end, even if another transformation needs to be made. So this brings me on to the inner work and outer work that Spirit wanted me to speak on. The inner work is definitely asking for you to work on internally flowing and releasing those internal chains that have been placed on you or by you. There is a newfound sense of flow that for this inner work is very important as you make this shift to maintain this level of peace, this level of victory, this level of earthly power that is being granted to you. The outer work that Spirit is suggesting as you move forward in your individual path is one where you are calling on your ancestors, okay? You're calling on them to stand with you. I wrote down here, stand with you and help you solidify what you need to do to claim and to claim this power and remain in the energy of peace. You are calling on them to basically be your rock, right? And we are moving into a period, a time, a season where they are even closer, and this access is even made more available if you were to tap into it, and you have the ability to tap into it because of the spirits that are currently surrounding you and the goal that they are wanting you to realize, which once again, I'm gonna keep saying, it is this really earthly power to make shifts in your life. Your current environment is definitely telling me that the work that you will put in internally and externally in your life, it will cause massive shifts to those around you. It's almost as though you are the one pulling the rug out from under them. Now, there are those that will celebrate this. They were waiting for it, they were needing it, not realizing that they needed it. But from what I'm also seeing though, unfortunately, I did pick up that because of how unrecognizable that you are, there are people that either don't like that shift that you are making, or they don't understand it. And so there's a sense of pushing back, fighting back with this newfound peace and power that you are claiming, and your ancestors are helping you claim. And Spirit wants me to let you know that their inability to not understand or not accept this space that you are moving into with yourself, it is none of your concern. You are definitely stepping into a self-sovereign mind that is detaching from the preconceived notions and perceptions of others, of society, of community, of your community. You're really stepping outside of it and really reclaiming a self-sovereign mind. And this is really important for that inner work, especially because of how it will be manifesting. I saw it manifesting as you moving into a timeline where the shift that you make, it sprouts so many new ideas and new paths. It definitely ushers in a new state of pleasure and enforced will. And this is that earthly power that I'm seeing. This shift that you make, it shifts you to a point, there will be newfound ideas that will be made present to you. So that makes me very, very, very excited for you. However, there is, again, there's a lot of choices that you'll be making. And this is why my channeling session was deep, because it's like I was seeing, it's like in one eye, I was seeing one thing, in another eye, I was seeing something else. And it was like just completely, it was like, why am I seeing this dual life, in a way? But a part of another choice, especially, when it comes to certain people in your life, is making that choice, and a very difficult choice, of removing yourself or being okay with being misunderstood. They don't understand you, they may isolate you, and you are completely okay with that. They may ghost you and you're just like, okay, right? There's no animosity, there's just understanding that you have shifted. And this sense of peace and creativity and power that you are moving forward with, it's of an individual that clearly understands their wounds, that understands the reasoning for their transformations, right? in my channel, I also saw an individual that as they're processing the grief that they had to go through within the multiple transformations and deaths that you had to make within yourself and perhaps even your surroundings, I saw this individual approach these past versions of themselves, and there was no hatred towards this version, right? It was a thank you, it was acceptance, and it was a sense of, I will take over from here and I will take care of you now. So there's definitely, as I said, there's an understanding of wounds, understanding of their transformation. There's no longer, you are no longer fighting the parts of themselves, but accepts themselves as a whole being, as a whole individual. And it was like as though you were making friends with your demons. Making friends with your demons, and in a way, I even put down how you can now work with them, okay? And it was giving me a lot of King Solomon vibes and his command over the entities that he had command over. I won't go too much into that, but if you know, you know. But that is basically, it's like this fortitude, this strength that you're moving into, right? And this is connected to that goal of this earthly power. But now you are stepping into a space, if you make the choice to act on wisdom or learn a lesson, you are given the opportunity to really realize how much power you actually have. And you reclaiming that power, wow, just the shift. As I said, it was like seeing two different timelines, and which is why my notes were just so long and extensive, because of this, just the channeling that I was getting from it. It was just like I had to see, to be very clear of what exactly was being done, right? But once again, at the very end of that channeling, right? At the very end of that channeling, it was a reassurance that no matter what choice you make going forward, whatever you feel is best for you at the moment, you haven't lost anything. The chance to make that shift, the chance to transform into an alignment that is better suited for your individual peace, joy, love, and abundance, it's not lost, okay? It's not lost. It's not something that's going to pass you by and now you're stuck. No, it's nothing like that. It's spirit. If anything, this reading is to let you know of how much power and control you actually have. And I really, really love that for you. But I hope that this reading has given you a little bit more clarity, a little bit more instructions of that inner work, that outer work, so we can make these shifts, claim this power, really fortify ourselves internally and externally with our ancestors, and really act on wisdom. I hope that this is what this reading has provided you, and that your higher self and your spirits that brought you here, they have made it clear why you needed to hear what you needed to hear. I am really honestly excited for you. I'm excited for you to really realize the power and control that spirit is making opened for you. So that is my hopes for you, and thank you so much for being here with me. It's beautiful. So again, thank you. Until the next one.